Good evening. This is Facebook Love number 323. How are you doing? I have been meaning to come and do a reading since the 4th of July. That's a few weeks. I kept trying to make it happen and just couldn't get here. Sometimes I wanted to and looked a fright, and other times I was ready and just couldn't get my head straight. So today I'm here. I have a couple of poems for you as we get into midsummer. And before I read them, the thoughts that were going through my mind lately when I did think about poetry were along the lines of my feeling about the earth, about trees and landscape, water flowing, sandy beaches, stony, pebbly bottom lakes. There's something for me very romantic about that, and I was so lucky to grow up in a time when I could run and climb and spend lots of time with other kids or alone in the landscape. And it changed me. It changed who I am and the writer that I became. And as I work on my novel, it's becoming more and more clear to me that those open times out in the green world really helped grow the person who became an artist, a musician and singer and writer. So I have a few for you tonight that sort of echoed that feeling. I don't know why, but they did. This first one, I'm not familiar with this poet. It's titled The Blue Door by Anne Lauterbach. The obligatory cancels its strophe. Let me get a grip and begin in this other patch where the air is. Am I among the vanishing? How does it feel? As if turning, as if falling, as if coming unstuck from the body's inconvenience? Too many questions spoil the poem. The poem is poem, cannot reply, which is why we need more voices, even as we know what happens when there are more voices. Noise, argument, rupture. Why not a single voice, one that represents everyone? Poem, are you listening? A crucible of dalliance supersedes Goldilocks and all other pending catastrophes, angling toward power. As if on the last day you could recall power. If only the field could retract into a new beginning, intact, complex. The geography of the many, seeding the plural world with accord. Good replicating good, evil, singular, kept to its barren agenda. Prayers and wishes could then speed our recovery from the uninhabitable scald of the venal market, not to be hysterical or polemical, not to confuse personal anxiety with the future. I was once at the Stray Dog Cabaret, once in unlit neighborhoods where sexy initiatives were underway, awaiting Jim Jarmusch. Clubs, bars, sudden upswept encounters with the privileged poor, dancing with the stars. Meanwhile, another beginning in another district. I am seeing the headlights of an oncoming vehicle. I am seeing the filmic snow. Oh, and I am stepping into the new day like a doe among bucks, a girl in sequins. I am trying not to count lovers or shoes. The shoes gather, episodic in twos. There are no agents, no inscriptions. As the story flows down into a rescinded pile, I have come to fear the punctuated day. I have come to wish I had done things differently, never to have begun with such sad disclosures. Absent the stanza, the difficult vocabulary, wandering barefoot along an avenue, before these piles, these sticks, the distant lump of dark, vestigial matter, and skittering sounds from under the floor lasting until dawn. And so, looking outward, where the skies assemble their beautiful reconnaissance, traveling, as if beckoning, as if to include. There are countless children wandering, singles and plurals, one shoe, many children or one child, many shoes. These discrepancies confuse the grammatical police. They do not know what to arrest. Please speak carefully, as this is a vote, and whether or not you have shoes, you need to say, to choose whether or not. What undergirds these words? What might be found? A frugal sandal, or the dazzling technicolor magic of the good witch's rubies? Everyone is after ruby slippers. We might sort through the archive of sneakers, the branded stores. We might look at the feet of strangers, shod in tar and mildew, mud and blood. The goo trammeled underfoot like history. The southern sky is turned peachy. I would like to wear it out tomorrow as a slip, and so slip through the hole in the sky into the azure assembly, the tiered swerve from universe to universe in my new attire, looking for a mate, or moonstruck in the glitter of heaven. No guns allowed. If you listen carefully, you can hear the thrum of insomniac wings pulsating between episodes of cloud. In this atmosphere, nothing is shut, and so motion is the rule. Motion without time, this time, our habit of counting up and counting down, speaking in numbers as if they were thought. In the distance, I hear the sound of a creature being slain by another creature. The beings I love are creatures. Is writing a way of stalling for time? To delay the tasks in the next room? Dishes and clothes, books and papers, the pile of shoes on the floor, the rugs, the drawer, chaotic with nails and hooks and small tools. Poem is too busy to answer. Words are like small magnets, pulling other words toward them, one by one. So the singles gather, and as they gather, they attest to an alignment that will become meaning. What was it you said about naming? It makes a way between unbeing and being, the definite flowing into the circulating infinite, the blue door, opening the night sky. The Blue Door by Anne Lauterbach. That was a long one. I think I'll skip the other. I was going to share a Barbara Kingsolver, but it's also kind of long. And I'll save it. She has a wonderful new book out too, so in the meantime you can look for Demon Copperhead, the newest novel. I think it just won a Pulitzer. Anyhow, The Blue Door. There was something about that made me think of that childhood running about, thoughts streaming and tumbling into other thoughts. I think of it as wool gathering when I'm trying to write. I just write everything down that comes to me, and then later I go back and sort of take out what's not essential. There's something about writing and about reading poetry that opens our minds But also, I have to say, something came to me toward the end of that. There was a line in there that sparked this. Sometimes I start writing a poem because my feelings are overwhelming me, and then I get an image that seems to capture some of that feeling, and then I want to describe that image and chase that feeling with words, which then help me tolerate it, help me bear it, because a lot of feelings are so big and so difficult, so sort of hoary. So that's what I have for you today, a very long poem. This is Facebook Love, and I'll see you again.